What is going on, guys? I always joke around and say, that I'm the head captain or the pilot. This time, I'm actually going to be the co-pilot. I've got Al Vasquez. This young fella he's a very interesting person. I want to say entrepreneur. And the reason why I say it, and I'm super excited to have him on the show today, and I know I say super excited a lot. I really am super excited because this guy came to one of my workshops and just fucking went like ape shit with it, like buck wild, which was pretty amazing. The things that I like most about this guy is he actually has 3 full-time jobs, not part-time. Because guys, remember, when you're a real estate professional, and I always joke around and I say, are you a full-time or are you a part-time agent? And people like part-time, I'm like, well, nobody wants to deal with a part-time anybody. So it's always full-time. Al, for 25 years, has worked on planes. He is a jet mechanic. He's actually pulled engines out of planes and rebuilt them all the way down to the tires, probably even change out a couple of toilet seats on the plane as well. He's also been an active real estate agent for 2 years, and he's been a real estate investor for 17 years. So it was a pleasure to meet him. I actually met him. I met you at an event, right?
Actually, at the Real Estate Investors Expo.
Real Estate Investors Expo. Yep, that's actually run by Nick Tang.
Yeah, Nick Tang.
That young fella's all over the place. Oh. Actually, ironically enough, about 13 years ago, Nick was actually one of the first people to take my first short sale class. So it's actually kind of cool to see come first circle and everybody doing well in the market that we're in. I just want to put this out there. Money or Yahoo.com or something magazine said that we were actually up, I think, 12% in mortgage applications over the last 30 days. So let's not let the coronavirus get us down. And without further ado, Al, tell us a little bit about yourself. What makes you tick? Because you got a lot of shit going on.
I do. Actually, I think I had ADD when I was a kid. So I basically got my hands in everything. I loved taking things apart when I was a kid. Remote control cars and, my mom and dad's VCR. You may be a little too young for that, but took that apart. I even worked on my uncle's cars when I was about 14, 15 years old. So I was always hands-on. I always liked working with my hands. And I have this love affair with aviation, still do. And I did a little flying when I was younger. And then I had to make a choice between pursuing flight training or buying homes. My rationale is I can always go back to flight training, but buying homes like that, for that price, in that condition, I doubt I was ever going to see that again. So I made that decision. Painful, but had to be done.
Al, what would you say your biggest hurdle is right now? Obviously, working on the planes. What's it like out there on the tarmac? What's the word on the street?
Well, I work for United Airlines. I don't know if I could throw that out there. I could say whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I work for United Airlines, and I just went through this town hall meeting with our CEOs and our chief executives and board members and everything. That we're actually in a much better shape than, say, American, Delta, and Southwest right now because our cash burn is down. We're trying to get it down to 40 million a day. I know it sounds like a lot, but it really isn't a lot in the world of aviation. But Delta, American, and Southwest, they are upwards in the $70 to $75 million a day cash burn. So we're much better. $70 to $75 million a day they're burning through cash right now. Eesh. So United is in much better shape than all of our competitors, and good thing I'm with United right now.
Sounds like it. How many years have you been with them?
I'm subsidiary Continental. I got hired with them back in 1997, and through the airline merger between Continental and United, that was back in 2010. So altogether, about 23 years, and I was a crew chief for about 5 years with Continental. In my heyday, I was responsible for about 10 to 15 planes a night. This is when I worked on the midnight shift. I ran a crew of about 18 to 20 guys. So in essence, I kind of ran 1/6 of Newark at one time.
Nice.
Crazy.
Did you have any problems when you were down there in Newark at night?
No, we never left.
Did anybody ever like just take a stroll out on the tarmac? Like, yo, get off the tarmac.
No. No, with the amount of
take your 40 with you.
No, with the amount of Port Authority police roaming the area, it's
That's a good point.
basically impossible.
Right. Good point.
Security is very, very tight there.
Right. So what's going on right now? What's so you're working at a Newark airport right now?
Right.
So what's it like down there? What's the security like?
Well, basically, what we go through is once we enter the airport, you have to go to a certain area in which they take your temperature. You just walk through, they sanitize your hands, they give you gloves, they give you a mask and everything, and they take your temperature. If your temperature is not on par, they just send you home. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
So is it true that they're going to start taking temperatures rectally now?
I couldn't even answer that. I don't even think I would entertain that, to be honest with you, but it's pretty funny.
I heard that you were one of the guys actually volunteered to be first online for it, but hey, you know what? It could just be fake news.
Yeah, I know. I mean, sometimes I am accused of talking out of my rear end, so
okay.
There you have it.
I love it. So let's talk about the real estate side. You know, doing it full time, let's say almost 2 years. You came to my workshop with, I guess the aspiration of understanding of how to approach people that were in distress. Have you had any other formal training other than anything that I've offered you?
Well, I mean, I did land with Keller Williams as soon as I was licensed, so it is a good place to start. I mean, the training is second to none. Yeah, I know I'm plugging them a lot. I work at Keller Williams City Life in Jersey City. I couldn't ask to be a part of a better organization, or really, really hands down, they're very good people. They're very knowledgeable. I have a lot of respect for them. And like I said, their technology is cutting edge and their training is second to none.
Did they teach you about distressed real estate?
Very minimal. I mean, we do have 2 agents that are experts at that, so I really lean on them a lot. One of our agents, actually, I got off the phone with not too long ago, and we were thinking about, merging of ideas and merging of the minds, or, so to speak.
Oh, like becoming a team or something like that?
Well, starting a team, becoming a team, I mean, it's all the same. But as far as training in distressed properties, I don't really see it there. If they do have it, I don't know about it. But I would rather lean on the real experts on that. So that's one of the reasons why I took your, course, and I'm also going to see you in October. Well, if this pandemic pans out.
Well, you're either going to see me physically in October, or you're going to virtually see me in October at the Short Sale Boot Camp Expo. We're making provisions that if we can't do it live, that we are actually going to do it virtually. So tickets are still selling. So regardless of whether it's going to be face to face or virtually, this isn't about me though. This is about you. As far as the educational stuff, there's not many people that actually they take the workshop. And obviously, it's always that, that 10% or that 1% as far as people that are really, reaching out. I would say, based on what I've put out there so far, there's a steady 5, that, still keep in contact and, they want to work with my company, my team. You're one of those people, obviously. I love the videos that you're doing. I made it a point to tell you to do the videos because it's a journey, and you're going to use it as a learning tool. 6 months from now, you're going to look back and go, "Oh my God, what the hell was I talking about? Or why was I saying that?" I think in this industry, people really need to understand that this isn't something where you're going to fake it till you make it. You make one wrong move, you drive somebody into foreclosure, you go about your day. You can go into a drive-through, get a McChicken sandwich and a Coca-Cola. You're going home to your nice cooled or heated house. But the person that you might have made the mistake with, they're going to sheriff's sale. So what's your thoughts? What are your concerns as far as approaching people that are in distress now that you've been working with me versus before?
Well, I mean, some of my experience, so to speak, is once you build up that courage to just start door knocking, and you're either going to get a response of "I'm so glad you're here" versus "Get the F off my lawn! I'm calling the police! You're a scammer! I hate people like you! Get off! Get out of here! I don't even want to see you." So at that point, you're like, what do you want me to do?
Right.
They don't seem to have the full understanding that they are facing you're facing an issue. I mean, you're about to lose your home, and I'm here to help you. I mean, I'm here to provide some sort of options for you that your bank may not be privy to give you at this time. But time is of the essence, and I always stress to them, look, a couple of months from now, or whenever this pandemic ends, your options may or may not be available to you. Are you aware of that? And that's when the conversation starts. That's when I don't work off of scripts. Maybe I should, but I'm more of a person that's like, I just shoot from the hip.
This is what I tell people. The content that I supply for whatever training I offer, or even the coaching, unless you're a professional actor and you're trying to go off an actual script, you're going to sound like a fucking robot, or you're going to sound so like manufactural, like when you're talking to them. Well, statistics state that if you don't do this, this is what's going to happen. People don't want that. They want real, and I think that you are so real, and people can relate. So you're going out, you're driving, you're documenting these things. This is going to be an amazing learning tool for you. And it's going to be an amazing journey going after people that are, in distress. Talking about, meeting people face to face. Some people, the majority of people, are scared shitless to actually talk with people because they're afraid of one or two things. You ready for this? The rejection and the rejection. Meaning that, going to the door, talking, or hoping somebody's going to be there, and they're not. Or somebody's there and they open the door and, right away they're setting themselves up for the failure because they think, well, how many other people are doing this? How many other people are bothering these people in distress? Now, let's face facts. What is it, every 4 years we vote for a new president? Is that it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, somebody wins, right?
Yeah.
There's always one person that wins. There's always a, vice president, and there's also a cabinet members and everything else. So it's kind of like you need to show up to get involved. You need to show up, throw down your knowledge, your information, be really super sincere. Don't walk around like you have a dollar sign on your forehead because these people are going to realize it. If you are an insecure person, you can get around this. If you're a shy person, you can get around this. If you are a pompous ass, you can get around this, but you have to be willing to be trained and you have to have the education. And I think people, for the most part, can be trained. Not everybody is trainable. I actually, it seems, insulted one of my friends who had asked about my one-on-one coaching. And I told them that I need to interview you to see if it's something that we could work together. And this person took umbrage to the fact that here I am, how dare I basically say that I'm interviewing them like for a job. And they went on a whole dissertation of who they were and their accomplishments and who they could call. And it's not about, and this is a very interesting business that we're in. So it's not about, for me, the money. It's about the product. It's about the finished product. It's about offering the services to others. And I think you get that because anything that we've ever talked about, you've utilized, and you've had, somewhat success to it. We are working towards, obviously, working with people. Um, what do you think? What's your personal opinion on, keep moving forward and working with distressed homeowners? Because you seem like you're excited to go out there and you don't mind the rejection. Are you broken in some way?
No, as a matter of fact, if anything, this has pretty much gotten me out of my shell, if you can believe that. Um, when you mentioned someone who is painfully shy, I was painfully shy growing up, but after a while, that just, who cares? I mean, next, because the abundance of opportunity is out there. So when I say opportunity, I'm not saying, to get some sort of financial satisfaction out of it. But what I mean by the opportunity is out there because there's more than just one person that's going through this type of situation. I mean, there's thousands of people in New Jersey alone. I mean, thousands of them, and a lot of them, the vast majority of them, don't really understand what their options are, or are not made aware of what possible options are to either save their home, save their equity, or to save their credit, or a combination of all three. But that to me is very important. And a lot of these banks, yeah, they offer some options, but that's just a band-aid. That's not, stitching up the actual wound and just moving forward and learning from it and actually growing from it. That's just my take on that.
The problem is with the bank aspect of it, they are not in place to give the people the options. They're the place to process the paperwork. And by processing the paperwork, you know, your first name is Alfred.
Right.
You put Al or Albert. They're not going to correct you. Whatever you put down, they're going to accept it. So if your income is off, or your profit and loss is off, obviously it's going to be an issue. And the banks are not, how do I say this? The banks are not in place to help, only process. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. They're just, typewriters. That's all they are, or data processors. They're not there to make decisions for you. They're not there to make decisions or help you make any type of decisions. They're like, okay, this is what your payment is, and this is what I expect every month. Excuse me.
So what I mean by that statement, and I don't want to get any backlash from anybody on this, is that after doing this for 15 years, there's so many people that are out there that are saying, well, my bank says I shouldn't have to pay for a third-party service, or be leery of third-party services, or, there's so many ors. But the reality is, if you ask your bank, can you show me what I need to do to qualify for a loan modification or a short sale? The answer is no. That is not their job. The bank's job is to process only. So I think that as long as people understand that aspect of it, and the bank employees share that knowledge to the people that are in trouble, then I think for the most part, everybody should be on the same page. But if not, then obviously there's going to be a problem. So when you meet with homeowners that are in distress, what is usually their first response?
Their first response is not wanting to open the door, or sometimes when I approach the home or the front door, there's usually a sign in the front that says, do not ring my doorbell, do not leave anything in my mailbox. I mean, I've been told it's illegal to leave anything in your mailbox anyway because the post office owns it. I mean, whatever that means. But anyhow, I would just leave it on the door. But in the event that someone actually does open the door, it's a gamble. I mean, it's really a gamble. You could be met with hostility, or you could be met with someone who is visually down on their luck, or even in some cases broken because of their current situation. So that's when you start becoming more of like a therapist to them, and you just have to sit down with them and just try and connect with them on an emotional level, on a personal level. That's always been my approach to someone who has been, pretty much in that situation that's visually broken. And other times when you're met with hostility, you're like, all right, no problem. But you have my information. If you do change your mind, I would love to hear from you. And of course, this is of no cost to you. So I'll be waiting for your phone call. And just walk away. Because now they're frustrated. But I don't think they're angry. I think they're more embarrassed. Mm-hmm. I dare to say they may be a little embarrassed by it, and especially in one case that I'm working on right now, his spouse has no idea that they're in this type of situation. And I'm just shaking my head and I'm like, how do you not discuss this with your spouse?
Well, tell the story. Give us some insight on really what's going on.
Well, I left my information on the door. This is right around December, January, around there. And I got a phone call right away, and the person told me, well, you know what, I appreciate you leaving your information, but it's already being handled. I said, okay, well, I appreciate the phone call. Best of luck to you. But now I have his contact info.
Mm-hmm.
So now what do? I reach back within, a couple of days, a few days here and there, a week, no answer. Then I get a call back, but this is, fast forwarding between 3 to 4 months later, which we're currently at right now. So now he pretty much tells me, well, yeah, I'm working with these people, but they're giving me the runaround. A lawyer is talking to me. He wants $4,000 for me to handle this thing. And I'm like, whoa, what is the attorney asking you to do? Well, why don't we schedule some sort of a meeting? If we can meet in the parking lot, we can meet on the driveway, whatever you want. But let's discuss this before you go any further. And again, my services are no charge. There are no charge to you. What I'm looking to do is help you out. Yeah, but my wife doesn't know anything that's happening, or she doesn't know what's going on right now. And that's when I'm like, oh my God.
How many years was it since he hasn't paid the mortgage?
You're looking back at about a year and a half now.
They're super close?
When you say they're super close, meaning where they live in comparison.
I'm being sarcastic, meaning that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're very tight. Yeah, they're very tight. But I mean, how do you not? And that's another thing I want to say. When you're in a marriage, you're in a partnership, you're in a union. All right. You need to talk everything out. You're basically sharing the happy times and also in the most difficult times. So talk to your spouse, man. Don't leave anybody in the dark. The worst feeling is when you get that knock on the door and it's the sheriff says, well, you got 10 minutes to leave. Well, what are you talking about? Talk to your husband. Your property has just been sold. How do you think your marriage is going to last after that? Is it going to solidify, or are you going to beat the shit out of each other?
Yeah.
I'm going to let you answer that.
In situations like that where the homeowners don't communicate. When I got into the business in 2005, one of the reasons why I got involved was because, I ran a for-sale by owner service, and we had 4 counties in New Jersey with a national website. And it was weird to have conversations in, latter of 2004 where people were like, for instance, like the wives were like, hey, can you come over before my husband gets home? I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
And then it was like, and then the guys were like, hey, can you stop over real quick before my wife gets in? And I'm like, all right, whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I'm not going that route.
Oh man, yeah, I would have an issue with that. Yeah.
So anyway, so I would actually meet with them, and they were like, "Listen, I'm paying the difference of the mortgage on my credit card, or I'm borrowing money from my 401k to pay the difference of my mortgage. My spouse has no idea. The best is I'm using my work corporate card to
Oh,
pay the difference of the mortgage. And some of these mortgage payments balloon, an additional, $1,500 a month. And they're like, I can't make the payment. I don't know what to do. And, a lot of people had no equity in their house. They were buying these properties with as little as $500 out of pocket, and everybody was like, well, this is great. It's never going to end. So at the time, I actually worked for my brother-in-law's mortgage company. And he's like, at some point, there's going to be an end to this. And he was flying all over the place. Business was rocking. And he was, doing seminars and stuff. And he would hear people talking on planes saying, yeah, I'm a personal trainer. Business is really good, but my side hustle is really making things happen for me. I just bought my first, AMG Mercedes and blah, 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 whatever. And he was just sitting there shaking his head saying, like, these guys.
I'm doing that right now, just listening to that.
Yeah, they have no idea how bad that is. You really should try to live, if you can, below your means. And everybody's, either gone above or has been a victim of, overspending. But putting yourself out there like that, buying properties at the height of the market, hopefully hedging that the properties are, just going to keep going up and you're going to make a tremendous amount of money on it. And then the market crashed. So when I got in 2005, trying to make a difference, always being the underdog myself, either, with jobs or, in school, as I've talked about in the past, and wanting to make a difference. And then just being able to show other people really like the reality of what's going to happen. So now, when I see somebody like yourself and you come in, I mean, you're open to all training. You're open to everything because you understand, where, I'm considered an authority in the industry based on everything that I've gone through over the last 15 years. So people are asking now, Matt, what's going to happen? And I have to tell you, I'm a little terrified because rates are low. Properties are going above property, true values, you know. I know that they still have some programs that are available for people as far as putting money down for homeowners or primary residences. I don't talk too much on the mortgage side, but, I see, things teeing up for, another different type of adjustment in years to come. But as of right now, it's a trifecta because you've got a little bit of the shadow inventory from the past. You still got garbage from 2008, right? Then you've got the failing modifications from 2013-14 that were getting ready to basically go on the chopping block and come up with a sale date. And I got COVID-19. So, but people are still buying. I mean, I'm assuming you're still busy as a real estate agent, right?
Well, our office is really busy. I mean, the thing is, the unique thing with this compared to 2008 is right now there's really not a lot of inventory out there as far as the MLSs go.
Right.
And people they're looking to buy. I mean, they're really looking to buy for two reasons. Number one, they're thinking that, well, this pandemic is around, so I might be able to get a deal. Yes and no, depending on what you're looking for. But there's not a hell of a whole lot of inventory out there. I mean, we're still closing properties at 10, 15, 20,000 over asking.
How much?
But 10, 15, even 20, as much as 30,000 over asking.
Okay.
You're in Hudson County. I mean, places like Jersey City, Bayonne. One kid just closed 35,000 over asking in Union City. I mean, again, there's no inventory there for you.
Did the property appraise, or did they have to pay it out of pocket?
That I'm not sure about, but if I had to guess, I think they may have to pay out of pocket to have that appraised,
Right.
because, I mean, everybody is scared shitless of their own shadow right now.
Right.
I mean, I think Chase and Bank of America, they've already shut down HELOCs, so they're not signing off on any more HELOCs.
Right.
And now Chase has gone further to say, well, you know what, we're not going to lend out any money unless you're scoring a 700 or above. So now you have all these other things that you need to deal with when you're at, even before you start looking for properties. And, you know, I don't have a problem with Chase asking for, you know, people to score above a 700. Of course, you know, people with 800 credit scores are unemployed right now. So that, I mean, on the flip side of that, it can go either way. It can really go either way. Credit score really, it just shows that you have a pretty good history, or your trend is more than positive as far as paying your bills, or your ability, your fiscal responsibility is there.
So right now you are gainfully employed full-time, correct?
I am.
But are you working full-time?
Right now, they just reactivated us at United Airlines, so I am going to be working 40 hours a week. Of course, part of the stimulus package is for the airline worker is our salaries are protected till the end of September, October, but from that point on, who knows? It depends on how much of a demand we have for United, or from flyers, or from the flying public. Are we selling the seats? Are we flying anywhere? Yes or no, that's going to determine whether we go through massive layoffs come October, November.
Do you think there would be any type of layoff? Like, does it go by seniority? How does that work?
It goes by reverse seniority. I mean, the last one in is the first one out. I would like to think that with my seniority, I'm pretty well protected. But again, if the demand for flying is not there, then I may be joining your team. Who knows?
That's not a bad thing.
No, I mean, that really isn't a bad thing. I mean, either way, it's not a bad thing, because, you know, real estate is moving. They're moving. I mean, properties are moving. Inventory is moving. Well, whatever inventory is out there, it's moving. So now, you know, when I'm door knocking, are you looking to list? I can help you out. You're looking to sell? I can help you out. That's why I came up with the refire list. You know, either if your credit is good enough, or it can withstand it, we can refinance you. Or if not, I can go ahead and list you. If there's equity in the house, let's try and save it. If not, then we're going to have to short sell it. But bottom line, in your current situation, it's not advisable for you to stay here.
So let me ask this question. So if somebody was to reach out to you, or to talk to you, or ask you questions, do you have any issues with networking with other people?
Not at all. Not at all. You know, if it's a commercial property owner that's in distress, commercial properties are not my forte. As a matter of fact, I don't fully understand it, and it's kind of nerve-wracking when I start, you know, dealing with commercial properties. I will refer that to someone who is an expert at commercial properties. I'm not going to BS you up and down, say, well, I know everything there is to know, because I don't. I'm still learning. I'm always going to be learning. And even if I have 30 years in this industry and I'm 99 years old, I'm still going to be learning.
That's an amazing way of thinking.
Well, I mean, what does the saying go? Master of none, expert in everything, master of none.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Jack of all trades, master of none. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Would you consider yourself a jack of all trades, master of none?
No, I wouldn't even go that far. I mean, I may perfect a particular method that I have, but as far as being an expert on everything, absolutely not. And anybody that tells you that, just walk away.
So let me ask you a question. What was your childhood? What was your childhood like growing up?
Childhood was pretty good. I mean, it was very disciplined. It was very, my dad was a stickler for math. I mean, I can teach any schmuck to read a book, but as far as numbers and understanding numbers and the value of money, no school is going to teach you that. And he was right. That's all learned in the household. That's all learned in the household. But, for that, let me see how he used to put it. You see this dollar, son? Every time you release it in the world, think of it as, a little friend. You hope that dollar comes back with more friends, $5 bills, $10 bills. And hopefully, if things are really good, they will come back with great friends, the Ben Franklins. So what he was trying to say is for every dollar that you release into the world, you hope that you can use it towards a very good investment or invest it wisely or spend it wisely to the point where it makes you more. In this country, we're very debt driven, we're consumer driven, and what is this I have here? Nearly 44 million. That's 1/8. That's 1/8 of the world population. That's 1/8 of this country's population. They're spending 30% or more on their rent. That's a significant chunk. And a lot of these people have nothing to show for it. It's rent just going out the window instead of purchasing a property and investing in real estate or something that's going to give you something in return.
I don't think anybody's ever going to change that type of market. People are always going to want to rent. People are always going to want to buy. People are going to be landlords. You're going to have people out there that are professional, get-overs, and they're not going to want to pay their rent. But it's funny. You mentioned something to me in an email, which I can appreciate. 2018, you ended up getting a real estate license, and you actually described it as getting hosed.
There's one of the reasons why I did get my real estate license is because back in 2003, when I was renting out one of my apartments, I came across a real estate agent, and she says, "Yeah, I can list your apartment. I can list your apartment. Blah blah blah." Oh, that's a good amount. Yeah, that's a good amount. Sign right here. Blah blah blah. 2 weeks go by, not a phone call. 3 weeks go by, nothing. So now a month, 30 days go by. I reach out to her. Yeah, I didn't really get any traffic. I mean, nobody's really calling. Are you considering lowering the rent? And I says, okay, that's odd. So I listed my apartment on Craigslist. 4 days later, I got a tenant. So I called her up and says, you know what? Thank you for your service, but I found a tenant. A day later, the broker calls me. Hi, Mr. Vasquez. I hear that you found a tenant. Yeah, thank you so much. Oh, wonderful. Do you have a commission check for us? What? Commission check for what? I'm the one that found the tenant. Yeah, but you listed with us. That's when, I just lost it. And I read through the contract, says, you know what, I'm not paying you anything. Long story short, there was a green postcard showed up in my mailbox, court date. You know what, I really don't want to go through this. So I went to his office, and I paid the commission off.
How much was the commission?
$1,500.
Most valuable lesson you ever learned.
Yep.
Tell people what that lesson was.
Read before you sign anything. Just read before you sign anything. That's
and you ended up getting your real estate license more or less out of frustration, because here's a professional that you relied on who basically sold you a big bag of dog shit that didn't do anything, didn't really bring anybody in. You posted an ad on Craigslist. I'm sure you got some wild phone calls from people.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did.
Anybody looking to rent it by the hour?
No, that would have been nice.
As a storage facility with a freezer in it.
Yeah, there you go, and a bathroom.
Whatever. So you found the tenant. How did you know they were the right tenant for the property?
Well, you do pretty much a thorough background check, or as thorough as you can. Way back when, I forgot what service I used, but I think it was National Tenant Network. I think they're still around. So you type in their name and you pretty much see, have they ever been evicted? No. Any problems with their credit? No. Okay, well, we're good. You got pay stubs? Yeah, all right. You got your W-2s? You got tax returns and everything? Yeah, right here. Fantastic. And she stayed with me for about 5, maybe 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So do you go towards the realm of the Section 8 or you go mainstream?
I go mainstream. I don't know enough about the process of Section 8. I don't know enough about it to say yes or no. There are some people in your network that I would love to pick their brains about, because I always hear about that Section 8 never late.
There's no what should I say? There's no shame in what Carmelo Oliveri always says. Section 8 never late.
Oh yeah, I mean that's one brain I would love to pick with regards to that.
Yeah, listen, you can always reach out to him. Jesus, I mean, he might even train you on what he does. You never know.
I mean, he seems like he's an approachable person. Actually, he is a very approachable person, and
I think people misread him with his comments that he puts on Facebook and the stuff that he does. He's really a big softie.
I appreciate sarcasm, so I mean I get him.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and then the second one was when I listed my property back in 2015. I got some people passing through, but not really a hell of a whole lot. Then it expired, and then I get a phone call from one of these real estate agents.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, run around. Oh yeah, would you entertain a cash offer? Sure, absolutely. Who wouldn't? They walk through. Says, okay, well now I need to bring my partner. Okay, your partner, all right. No mention of a partner. Okay, fine, whatever. But she wasn't serious about it, and I just said, you know what? You're not being serious. Have a nice day. She just wasted my time. What she was trying to do was purchase the money using hard money. Purchase the property using hard money, and the partner was the one that was bankrolling it. So that's what I gathered from that. And I said, you know what? This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Just go out and get my license, and I did. That's what really pushed me over the edge.
Right. So what would you say as far as competition out there? Do you have competition in real estate?
I wouldn't call it competition. It's more like there's opportunity for everyone. Whatever you want to do. If you want to do commercial real estate, there's opportunity out there. You want to stick to investment properties, there's lots of opportunity out there. Single family homes, condos, co-ops, you name it. I wouldn't call it competition because there's so many toys in the sandbox that there's enough for everybody.
Yeah.
There's more than enough for everybody.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really consider it competition.
That makes sense. I mean, I tell people all the time, I don't look at people's competition. I look at everybody's opportunity because
same thing, yeah.
You really never know. I mean, I love to network. But I think there's a stigma where everybody's like, well, I own a company and we're going to do it my way. And I have a situation right now where, I have a lead. It's a 2-family house. It's definitely going to be a reno. And it's in Upper Bergen County, New Jersey. And the homeowner's like, well, I've been contacted by this woman and she doesn't know her last name. She didn't have a phone number. She's like, she works direct with the banks. I'm like, does she work in the bank? No. What's going on? Are you listing your property? I mean, well, I don't know. I'm talking to you because my friend said that, you're the authority. I Googled you and you seem like you know what you're doing. You have a contract with this lady? I signed paperwork, but I don't know what I signed. Exactly. Oh, and there's about 5 mortgages on the house. So this was, in my opinion, I would say more or less predatory lending was done on this property.
Yeah.
So I'd love the opportunity to go in and fucking clean out house because, that's a great opportunity for me to, spank the banks and, give them a little bit of a dose of reality of the stuff that they were doing was horrendous to people. And I'm glad that things have changed. Where there's still a little bit of garbage out there as far as people that are writing certain mortgages, and they're still trying to go back to their old ways. I don't believe the government's going to allow it to go full force 2008 ever again. I know they did a lot of heavy regulating as far as people getting licenses and stuff like that, and that cleaned out a lot of shit. There's a lot of people that have real estate licenses right now that, in my opinion, they should have the right to even list a Barbie house.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are people like that. I mean, but there's people like that in every industry. I mean, I'm not gonna, paint everybody with the same paintbrush. I've been fortunate to be surrounded by people who are, who do things that are meaningful. I surround myself with people who actually want to do the right thing and who have a conscience, and I'm one of those people that has a conscience.
Absolutely.
It is what it is.
It's a very weird world out here where people don't really truly understand what's available, what's not available as far as services. Homeowners keep their head in the sand. They're approached by people that don't understand what they're doing. And in the realm that we're talking about, which is distressed real estate, obviously you don't want to wait till it's too late, and you want to educate. But to have the conscience of, and I've spoken with real estate agents, very bad real estate agents. Well, you know what? I didn't put them in that predicament, so it didn't work out. They deserve to lose their house. Nobody deserves to go to foreclosure.
No. I mean, it's with these homeowners that keep their head in the sand. My biggest fear is they're going to call me the day of or the day before their house goes on the auction block. And right then and there's nothing I can do for you.
Right.
There's really nothing I can do for you. So that's why I implore people to, just contact us. Contact me. Let's just talk. You don't have to commit to anything right now, but eventually you will have to commit to something.
Right.
You'll have to commit to the decision that you're going to make. And you're going to have to stick with it.
That's actually my mother-in-law in the background. I don't think she realizes that I'm doing a Facebook Live right now.
How you doing? Oh, that's very nice.
That's fucking awesome.
I hope you're recording this because I want a copy of this.
Dude, that's totally recorded, totally unscripted.
I love it. That's something my mother-in-law would do. That's something my mom would do. I'm surprised my wife hasn't come in here and says, honey, do you want coffee? You want more coffee?
No words.
I love it. You know why? Because that makes people real. I love real.
I can't be any more real than that.
No, you can't.
Oh, God. It would have been funny if she came in here and was like, do you know where my dementia medicine is? Oh, right.
Oh my God.
Which she will not take. But that gives you a perfect example. It's like one flew over cuckoo's nest in my house right now. I'm literally running a geriatric home. Save me. Save me.
Oh, man, I love it. That was a great book, by the way.
Seriously. Listen, now I loved having you on. I loved interviewing you. I hope people find some type of solace in the information that we talked about. I mean, dude, legit, you have 3 full-time jobs: jet mechanic, realtor. You're an investor, and you're doing everything full-time, which is really great. And you're offering, a solution. You're offering a product that most people don't want to get involved in. 9 out of 10 real estate agents will not get involved in short sales. They just don't want it. They don't want the headache. What's your thought in closing of why people that are real estate agents don't go after short sales?
Honestly, because they're they're intimidated by the amount of paperwork or the amount of conversations or the difficult conversations that you're going to have with both the homeowner and the banker or the service provider.
Right.
It can be challenging, yeah, I'll give you that, but at the same time, it's still a business that's worth pursuing because, like you said, not a lot of people like doing it. So what does that create for people like us is an open road. It's just an open road. And if you become really good at it and you perfect it, you can also make a lot of money in this business. I mean, in that sector of the business. So I would encourage anyone to, who's thinking about it, don't let the paperwork or don't let the banks intimidate you or the whole process intimidate you. Yes, it can be intimidating, but it could be just as rewarding at the end.
It's funny that you just said about making a lot of money in this industry, because in all the times that you and I have spoken, you've never really talked about money. You always talk about helping other people. So I'm happy and I'm hoping that you do realize you can help people and you can make a decent amount of money doing it and not feel bad about it, because you're helping people avoid foreclosure.
Well, you're providing a solution for both the homeowner and the bank. You're basically providing solutions for people, not only options, because the options that's just the entryway. That's just a segue to solutions. And once you provide a solution, yeah, I mean, it's there. And yeah, everybody can be compensated for it. The same way I can connect a seller to a buyer in a traditional manner,
right?
Via open house. It's the same process. Is it a little lengthy with short sales? Maybe. Yeah, probably. But it's the same process, believe it or not. It really is. I mean, you're connecting two people. You're introducing a third into it, but it's still a solution nonetheless.
So it's all about having a team around you. I think it's about, offering the correct solutions to people. And basically you're putting somebody hopefully in a better situation. So Al, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me on here. I mean, I appreciate all you do for everybody out there.
I appreciate that as well. I know that you wanted to say something special or nice about me. There's no need for that. What I'm doing, what I'm offering for people, I mean, it actually says right here that you wanted to say something nice. You don't need to say anything. The fact that you took time out of your busy schedule to come on and tell people about, your story, your love for what you do and your passion means more than everything else. So I actually thank you for coming on and spending time with me.
Anytime, man. We're here for each other.
So at the end of every episode or every show or streamline that I'm doing, I have this thing where I have people do the point. So let's see if you can do it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Dude, you nailed it. You nailed it. The only thing wrong is you're wearing that fucking Mets hat.
Oh, here we go. I knew you were going to bust my balls with that.
Now, if you had a Yankees hat or a Jets hat, that'd be a different story. But you got a Mets.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
would that have made a difference?
There you go. Now it was perfect.
We can commiserate together. Look at that.
Seriously. So, guys, every day at 12 o'clock, I'm doing this show, and I'm helping others, widen their horizons. And we're talking with other people in the real estate industry and or jet mechanics or investors or whoever's out there that's related somehow into the real estate world, or offering some type of financial, let's say, upbringing or offerings of some kind to help other people. The 12 o'clock show is for people that just want to tune in, tune out the nonsense in the world, keep positive thoughts, and help others. It's 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. We do have the night show. The night show is Tuesdays and Thursday nights, Eastern Standard Times, and those shows we dive super deep, and sometimes we even offend people. So I would definitely say for that one, you should definitely tune in, and that's mostly for mature audiences only. So guys, until next time, remember, it's not a no until you get a restraining order. It's Matt Merrill from Real Estate Recovery Group. My guest today is Al the Jet Guy. Thanks so much, everybody. Hold on one sec.